Okay, so we've finally got some time to have a look at the oxyacetylene torch. I'm just going to get that into the right position. So we have checked for leaks, we've got everything fired up. We only need 2 psi for the oxygen and 2 psi for the gas on this number 2 nozzle, which is the finest one the kit comes with. I think we've got 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and this is the finest one, which I thought we'd start with. I have purged each gas in turn. We've got the lowest setting I can achieve on these gauges, and we're just going to feed some gas through and see if this will fire up. Just going to let that go through a little bit. Just going to add some oxygen. Ooh, and straight out. You can see that is really sensitive. Oh, there's the sort of flame we want. See the way that turned to blue. So I'm just going to grab my titanium pick, and we're just going to see about heating this up and what happens. Oops. Changing colour again. We're going to need the preheater. I'm expecting these just to crack. It could be that the nozzle's a bit too small. This flame varies as you move the hoses around. Right, get oxygen off first, there we go, and then gas. Yeah, so not entirely happy with the size of the nozzle we've got there. So let's just scrub that off. Oops, no, for God's sake. It doesn't seem to have done very much, so I suspect we might need to try a bigger nozzle. So let's have a look at a number 4 nozzle. Stone cold. So let's get that swapped over. Okay, so gas first. Well, I suspect we've got a leak there. Let me just nip that up. Oh, I think that's probably far too big. You can see a flame actually back on there, so I don't know whether we've got a dodgy nozzle there or not, but that is not right. So why is that coming through there? I have no idea. Let's try the next one down. This is a 3. Leaking from there again. What the hell? Just seeing if something's in there that isn't allowing that to seat very well. Okay, let's go back to that original number 2. Looks good. Perhaps wasn't just tightening these up enough. Sake. Let's see about melting a little bit of solder, just see if that works. Everything's breaking today. Oh, for pity's sake, should it be this complicated? Really is a fine flame. Probably it's too fine. Let's try some normal solder first, see what we're getting up to temperature wise. Oh, look, it melts it instantly. Got no flux on there, but I'm not really bothered about that at the moment. Just trying to get see what the temperatures do. Yeah, extremely hot still. Okay. Now, we did have some new nickel wire that I wanted to try as well, but I guess we're going to have to grab some old elements and oxygen off first and then gas. Yeah, what I'm going to do is grab another element and see about getting these off. Right, let's get that pick again and we'll clear out the silicon. Can't believe I've broken this bloody fibre pen. Let's get it on the silicon here. Yeah, wondering whether that fire brick is sapping some of the heat out. I just want to be able to burn that wire off, you know, molten, get it molten so that wire that's broken off in there falls off. I just want to see that we're getting up to the correct temperature. Okay, let's see about sitting it on top of there this time, and maybe we will go up. We are on a 2, so I think we should try a 3 again, but this time we're going to have to really pinch the nut up. So that's a 2, which we know works and doesn't leak. This is a 3. Not seeing any signs of any issues there. I think we just got to do it up tight enough. So put that there. Right, let's try it again. Jesus. course, I did that the wrong way round. I was an idiot. We didn't. I didn't do that wrong. Oh, I don't get this. Why is it doing that? Oxygen is off. Let's bring the pressure of the acetylene down. Actually, maybe there wasn't enough. No, there is. Let's check the oxygen. Yep, that's fine. They are the tiniest of movements. Oh. Oh yeah, that's hot. You know what, I'm going to need that bloody mask for this. Now, can I just sit that there for a moment? Yeah, I think so. I just can't get that to come off. I just have no bloody clue. It just will not come off. The hell have they used on that? What am I missing here? Where's my flux? It's ridiculous. Should perhaps get the silver solder as well, actually. Well, the silver solder flows. So it's getting up to the right temperature. See that? Okay. So if we just grab some wire, leave that there for a second. Come on. Oh, you bugger. Right. All over the place here. So let's see if we can silver solder the end of this nickel wire. That's not going to go, is it, without flux, I wouldn't have thought. It might be easier just to put some flux onto there, a little bit onto the wire, and try that actually going into the element. So let's have a little look. What's the best way to do this? Right, so you should be able to see a successfully silver soldered connection there after a bit of buggering around. That the adjustment on the torch is just tiny amount of movement and you get all sorts of problems. You can see that I can almost touch that, the rest of that element, and yeah, that is good. Now it looks like we've got a little bit of flux residue on there. That is quite hard. Now I'm hoping if we... Alexa, meters on.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Alexa, meters on. So if we just check the readings here now, I'm hoping, yeah, 74 ohms, so that is a repaired element. Hopefully there'll be no issues when we pop that back in. It could be that flame is so fine that it's not really stressing out anything too much. So if we wanted to go with the nickel wire as per the original, that would be the way to go. And nickel wire is slightly magnetic, as you can see, and the original one is... Oh, it's not going to work through there. Can I pull that back a bit? Yeah, you're going to have to trust me on that one. It's nickel wire. Thanks to Kev for suggesting that. Nickel wire is available from a couple of sources. I found some on eBay and also from a specialist wire company. I've got about, I don't know, it's 50 grams, I don't know how many feet of wire there is on that, but absolutely loads. So yeah, there we go. We can now repair these connections at least back to factory standard. So yeah, very pleased with that. Okay, so that was it really. That works. I was probably worrying a little bit too much about removing the old wire, but that, as long as we can get silver solder to take at that really high temperature, you know, we're done. I don't need to worry too much about the old wire. And then we can sleeve this and over sleeve it as well with silicone, little piece of eyelet on the end, and we are done. Yeah, sorry guys, that really wasn't up to a fantastic standard, but I've done this for the first time in front of the camera, and you know, been messing around. So yeah, sorted. Right, just going to finish this video with a couple of things. I'll put the links to the nickel wire. So basically I've got two choices now. I can either use the really flexible multi-stranded wire, again 24 gauge, rated at 200 degrees. I can use the 24 gauge nickel. It's about 0.5 mil, 0.56 possibly, or 0.51, can't remember. It doesn't matter, it's the same size as the genuine wires on the GHDs. What the hell is that? I've just I think I've got a big chunk of silicone in there that came out of the tube. Honestly, just spotted that. Let me just wet that and smooth it over. Yeah, that will settle down. Anyway, so I have used the nickel wire. I've got an inner sleeve, which is this high temperature silicon tubing, and then I've got an outer sleeve of, again, the high temperature silicon tubing. I've soldered and crimped an eyelet on there. I cocked up the length just a fraction, but it doesn't really matter. And then we've got that covered with silicone. A little tip, if you ever do this, you kind of, to silicone the silicone tube in place, instead of butting it up to the edge of the element, if you cut at an angle about 45 degrees like that, you can then feed it through to the wire, and it will literally go over the top of the element, and it gives you a nice bit of area to apply the silicon to, rather than just being butted up to the end of the element. That needs some dribbling over the edge almost then, but if you cut it at an angle like that, you can feed it up. So yeah, if I can repair 80 elements, we've got our money back, and that's not including all of the repairs we can now do on the gold and the maxes, if we ever see any of the maxes. So yeah, pleased with that. Quite an investment, but I think we will get our money back at some point. So yeah, nickel wire, copper multi-strand, 24 gauge, silicon tube, thicker silicon there, and silver solder, 55% silver I think it was. Can't remember what the temperatures are. I think I've already mentioned that, but that I'm sure is what's being done with these originally, although automated. Anyway, enough waffle. There we go. Hope that helps if anyone ever gets around to doing this.